Welcome to this wonderful platform. If it is your first time of stopping by or coming across this channel for the first time, you are welcome. Please, if you like what you see here, after watching, subscribe, put on your notification bell. It's very important because it's going to help you to know when I upload a new video. In this channel, I present to you news on daily basis on what is happening in the whole world, especially in Nigeria and in Biafra land. Yes, I'm Mother Biafra. I bring to you Biafra news. So before I do that, what I always do is that I analyze it and I sit down there to watch the video together with you. Then we'll come to the comment section to talk about it. Of course, everybody is entitled to his or her opinion. That is why the comment section is there for you to contribute, leave your ideas, your thoughts, your belief about the videos that you have watched. Please, as we are doing this, let us do it constructively. As we hop into today's video, remain blessed. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate your massive support in this channel as we watch.
This is about the appearance of our leader today in the court. We have come to say the job has just started. Do not relent. Do not think that something has happened. Nothing has happened so long as our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is still in DSS dungeon. Seeing what transpired today in the court, it is now very imperative that we'll beef up this whole thing. We told you that the outcome of this court will determine the future, will determine how we are going to move forward. There are some issues I would want to comment on this evening. Everybody should understand that our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is the leader of Biafra people. And so therefore, the issue of individualism, the issue of family respect, the issue of those who think that they love him or they are more closer to him should not be in question here. That shouldn't be an issue here. The issue here is that our leader is the leader of Biafra people and must be treated as such. This is not an individual case. This has nothing to do with people, group. We are talking about the leader of indigenous people of Biafra and leader of Biafra people, generally. And for this reason, it is very important for Biafrans all over the world for their views, emotion, opinion to be respected. The struggle and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has gone beyond the leadership of IPOB. And the earlier the people understand this, the better. Otherwise, you will continue to wingle in and circle in a hole. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not just the leader of IPOB. He is the leader of a nation. Not just IPOB as a group, not just IPOB as a movement for the liberation and the restoration of Biafra, but that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has become the leader of Biafra nation. And the earlier you start to address him this way, the better for every one of us. The better for those of you in the movement, the better for those of you outside the movement. And so, what is going to be happening from now onward must be channeled to the total freedom and unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu by Biafrans. It does not matter what you think as a group. It does not matter what you think. It does not matter what you do. But what matters now is that the fight is going to be fought holistically. It is going to be an inclusive fight. The agitation has become an inclusive agitation for every concerned Biafrans. Everybody's hand must be on deck to make sure we give Nigeria terrorist government sleepless night. Any day going forward, any night Mazi Nnamdi Kanu spent on DSS dungeon will be hell on Nigeria until he is released. We have come to understand that there is no charges, there is no crime, there is all the things that have levied and charged against him has no legal basis. You know what I mean by legal basis? There is no legal ground. There is no ground. There is no ground to charge Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for terrorism. There is no ground to charge Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for treason. There is no ground to charge Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for insulting the president. There is no ground whatsoever. There is no legal ground to charge Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for all those whatever 7-count charges. And like we expected, we know that they will bring him to court. We know that they're going to adjourn the case. And we know that the reason why they are doing this is to play game with Biafrans. Everybody, including the world, have come to understand what Nigeria is all about. It does not matter what they do going forward. It does not matter what they think going forward. But what matters now is that the elders of Biafra land, the Ohaneze of Biafra land, those who call themselves political elite, who actually sent delegation, hired lawyers to go and observe the proceeding of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, of which the government of Nigeria was briefed about it. They were humiliated, disgraced, insulted, and were left to stay like ordinary people in the streets of Abuja. The highest place that, according to the video and the pictures we saw today, the only place that they can access were somewhere in the street of Abuja, not even in the court premises. And we ask again, are these people still the same people who are now shouting for one Nigeria? Are they still the same elders who are shouting about one Nigeria when you cannot even have access to the courtroom where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being tried on frivolous charges? So, we know that the case has been adjourned till the 10th of November. And we know that Anambra state election is proposed to take place on the 6th of November. And bringing him to court, like we said, the way they treated him, or the way they are going to treat him in court, the way they are going to handle him in court, will determine how we are going to move forward in the agitation. We made it very clear how he is going to be, how they handle him in court, how they treat him in court, will determine how ruthless, whether we are going to be ruthless or whether this revolution is going to be destructive. And today, they brought him to court without handcuff for the very first time. In 2015, between 2015 to 2016, 17 or so, our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has always come to court chain on his hand, handcuffed, a man who committed no crime other than asking for freedom of his people. Even as then, there was still possibility for the restructuring or restructuring Nigeria until the whole thing get out of hand. He was being brought to court on handcuff. In 2021, because of you, because the movement has become the world's largest movement for freedom, because you have done very extraordinarily well, because we have created awareness, because the entire world has come to know the truth, because Nigeria knew they shoot themselves on the leg. So today you see a great man, and I call him the real lion of Africa, coming to the court without handcuff. Remember when he was arrested and when he was kidnapped from Kenya, we saw pictures going viral on social media. Some people were celebrating the abduction, extraordinary rendition of our leader. Some people were kneeling down in their coven in Lagos, celebrating and thanking God for a man who have sacrificed everything to fight for the freedom of his people is being seen in a very disgraceful manner on handcuff. And Biafra were outraged. We told the world that the handcuff on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a handcuff on entire Biafra. We told them, those who were jubilating, thanking their God for the abduction and the humiliation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that the handcuff you see on his hand is handcuff on your hand, is also handcuff on Biafra. I must say that we have to thank the lawyers who are working 24 hours. Barrister Ejiofor, extraordinary man. Barrister Ejiofor has worked day and night to make sure we see this day. Irrespective of all the attacks, irrespective of all the blackmail, he has remained very resolute. And one thing we have to know today is that going forward, the revolution has come. Nobody is going to stop this revolution. The revolution has come. Our leaders have committed no crime, and Biafra people are going to do everything humanly and inhumanly possible to make sure that our leader is released. We are going to turn everything upside down. It is not business as usual, where you are going to be bringing innocent man to court every other month, and you continue to adjourn the cases. You continue to adjourn the case. We know that Anambra election is coming, and it is no election. That is the collective decision of Biafra people. Biafra people have decided no election will take place in Biafra land, starting from Anambra. And let me make it very clear. If you try to conduct election in Anambra state, it will be resisted. It will be resisted. It will be resisted, and it will be resisted. It does not matter the forces you bring to Biafra land. It does not matter how many soldiers or how many police you deploy. It does not matter. And this warning goes to every leader in Biafra land. Every leader in Biafra land. You must rise up now and support no election in Biafra, either in secret or in the open. We are saying that we do not want to renew agreement with Nigeria. The current agreement with Anambra State will expire, and when this agreement expires, we do not want to renew this agreement by going to the poll on the 6th of November 2021. And if you think that you are going to deploy Nigerian security agencies, infiltrated Boko Haram agencies, security agencies, in order to force Biafrans to conduct election in Anambra State, you will be resisted. You will be resisted. There is no, and there will be no election in Anambra State. Between now and the 6th of November, there is still opportunity, there is still possibility to free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Because we all know there is no legal basis on those charges against him. There are what you call the frivolous charges. They are all laughable. And we know the reason of all this shenanigans is to make sure that Anambra election hold, or you conduct election in Anambra State. It is not just about Anambra, but we are making it very clear that Anambra State election is the beginning. You better make up your mind. Release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. Unconditionally. And he will decide as the leader of Biafra. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will decide either to ask Biafrans to allow Anambra election to hold or not. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's decision is final. If he decides that Biafrans should allow Anambra election to hold, that decision will not come from the dungeon of DSS. If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going to be an influence to Anambra election, that influence will not come from the prison yard. If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going to be an influence to election taking place in Anambra State, that influence will not and can never come from the dungeon of DSS. That influence can never come from Kuje prison. The influence will be in Biafra land in Anambra State. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, if you want to use Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to bargain for election to take place in Anambra State, it can never ever happen from the dungeon of DSS. It is also not going to happen from Kuje prison, because Kuje prison is not located in Anambra. Neither DSS dungeon is in Anambra. This is expo that we are dishing out. If you want to use Mazi Nnamdi Kanu influence for election to take place in Anambra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu leg, his foot, should touch the ground and the sand of Anambra State. And he will make that position known in Anambra State. And once he declared that we should allow election to take place, consider it done. I am appealing to everybody. The hour has come. This is not time to look at your differences. This is not time to look at who is talking. This is not time to say it's Simon Ekpa. We are going back to the drawing board, and the time has come. Let me make it very clear again. If you want Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to influence election in Anambra State, that influence, the order, will never and can never come from the DSS dungeon. If you want Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to influence election in Anambra State, that order can never ever come from the Kuje prison. That order that you want Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to give must come from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Anambra State. And if you people think that this is a joke, come and conduct election in Anambra. Come and conduct election in Anambra State. We will invoke the spirit of Biafra to possess every soul in Anambra. Remember, we are not calling for boycott of election. There is difference between boycotting election and no election. There is difference between boycotting election and no election. And what we are talking about now is that we are talking about no election in Anambra State. Until, if you want to use Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to bargain election, because we know from your body language, from your decisions, and what transpired today in the court, that is the target. So let us speak it out. If you want to use Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to bargain for election as the leader of Biafra people, of which Anambra is part of, the decision can never be accepted from the DSS. It can also never be accepted from the Kuje prison. So on this note, it is not only that I am calling on the Biafra spirit, I am also calling on the wonderful and the loving people of Biafra in Anambra State to take note. To take note that no INEC official should be allowed to enter Anambra State. No INEC. We are in revolution. Revolution is revolution. And the revolution is going to take us to Biafra. We are not going back. We have come to the point of no going back. We are fighting for survival. We are fighting for freedom. And the revolution is here. The only thing, and the only person that will influence this pronouncement will be Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and he will be in Anambra State to pronounce that. We can't accept any influence from the DSS on this particular matter. We cannot accept order from Kuje prison on this particular topic of election in Anambra. So if you want to make him to influence this election, and he is the only person who will tell us to stop, we will stop. Only him. On this note, we call on every Anambarian. We don't want to see any INEC official in Biafra land in Anambra. Don't allow them to near Opiwe Air Bridge. In fact, from today, we declare INEC official the enemy of Biafra. Any place you see them in Anambra State, regard them, treat them as enemy. Ayara Bazikadatego. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a leader of a nation. Anywhere you see anybody coming to Anambra to conduct election, treat the person as a Biafran enemy. We call everybody to support this pronouncement. Forget from whom the pronouncement is coming from. But the people in Anambra and the people in entire Biafra, you must make sure that no INEC official is allowed to enter Anambra State in the name of coming to conduct election on the 6th of November. Let me remind you that today, our traditional institution was rubbished. Amariana Poti, Poto, the Igwe that went to Abuja to observe the hearing of a great man, the Lion of Africa, original Lion of Africa. The Igwe from Aligbo was humiliated, treated like an ordinary agbero in Abuja. It is the highest insult on our traditional ruler. And let me tell you, for those of you who say we insult our elders, we insult our traditional institution, we insult them when we want to. When they do something, we insult them. But that does not mean that a Janjaweed will be in Abuja and insulting our traditional rulers in Abuja. We can't accept that. Because we insult them when they go the wrong way does not give you the right to treat them like ordinary touts, ordinary street beggars in Abuja. It is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. And for this singular act on our elders, we will be ruthless. Going forward, the Biafra agitation, we are going to be ruthless to get our freedom. I watched and observed how our traditional ruler were molested, humiliated, and insulted in Abuja by people who are in the government, who ought to have known better what an institution, what a traditional institution represents. If this was coming from political party, if this was coming from some politician, if this was a political function, and they treated them this way, we will keep quiet, because after all, they are the one getting involved in politics. Politics is a dirty game. So if our Igwe was going to a political function and he humiliated them this way, we will allow them to humiliate them because they want to get involved in a dirty game. Unfortunately, this was not political campaign. Neither was it a political function. It was the biggest disgrace on our traditional institution. This Fulani continue to undermine our traditional institution to the extent of allowing a elderly man, chief, Igwe, to stay on the street, sitting down in plastic chair. You people don't understand all these little things are the things that have a lot of meaning. You see Okwadike of Ibuku, Okwadike of Ibuku, a whole ex-governor.
Coming across my YouTube channel, You are welcome. Now that we have finished watching this video together, you saw me sitting there watching it together with you. I appreciate you. Let's go to the comment section to talk about it. If it is your first time, subscribe, put on your notification bell. That notification bell is very, very important because